All right, folks, welcome to Inside Arm Wrestling, the home for all news of arm wrestling, fitness, strength, sports, and competitions. It is November 11th. We are on the eve of maybe one of the biggest arm wrestling matches of this year. Devon No Limits Lorett out of Canada is heading over to Turkey to face his opponent, Denis Sinkov. Denis and Devon are facing off in East versus West tomorrow. And folks, there is no loss of bad blood right now running through Devon Lorett's veins, knowing that the last time that these two men met on the table, it was no short of a massacre, if you will, on the part of Denis Sinkov. Both men came to the table to pull left-handed. Denis Sinkov certainly had no trouble at all pulling right through at that time the smaller Devon Lorett. Denis Sinkov, at that point in his life, was maybe at his biggest, holding the strict curl championship record and certainly the most dominant force in professional arm wrestling at that time. Devon Lorett came across, certainly thinking that as a left-handed arm wrestler, he could take Denis's non-dominant arm and put a mark on the world title of being the left-handed champion. But unfortunately, folks, that did not happen. We fast forward. Now, in 2023, the times have changed, the bodies have changed, the skill sets have changed. Obviously, Denis Sinkov is not the same massive man that he was 2, 3, 4 years ago. His injury, I believe he called it a kidney failure, potentially even possibly a stroke by the signs in which he was suffering from, has taken its toll on Denis. He is not as big. He is not as dominant in his size. You can see it in his body. Yes, his arms are massive. No doubt. His hands are still massive. But just the overall body composition, the overall body thickness, width from back to front has changed dramatically. He is a smaller man. He is not as strong of a man as he was prior to that illness. And on the flip side, Devon Lorett is just massive. The man has been training. He has been eating his quote-unquote pancakes. He has been putting on the size and the strength that will give him the ability, he hopes, to be able to regain some redemption against the big man from overseas and try to cement himself as the #1 arm wrestler in the world once again. Devon is timeless. The man has eclipsed multiple decades. Those decades have had multiple world championships to his name. But folks, make no doubt about it. When you are a competitor in sports, all of the titles, all of the accolades, all of the money is superfluous to the fact that if you have a loss, redeeming that loss, redemption, revenge, avenging, whatever word you want to use, may be the most driving factor there is, keeping you up at night, knowing that one man has beaten you in a fashion at that time that left no doubt in the world of arm wrestling who the #1 arm wrestler was. Now, all of those sleepless nights, those days training, hoping that this man would come back, much like John and Alexei Vovoda did a month ago. Devon Lorett is at a point where he is ready. He is more than ready to regain that moniker as the greatest arm wrestler on the planet. And folks, the only way that you can watch that this weekend is to tune into Core Sports. There is a sign-up link in the East versus West website and on their Instagram. Go there, sign up, watch the live stream. But before you do, folks, make your predictions. Go down into the comment section. Tell us what you think. Do you think that Denis Sinkov albeit is different physiologically than he was several years ago. Still possesses enough strength in that right hand, enough connective tissue that he can pull the much more seasoned at this point over the last few years arm wrestler, the more active arm wrestler, the more accomplished arm wrestler over the last few years in Devon Lorett. Can he pull through that arm? Folks, let us hear what you think of that in the comments below. We really want to know, who do you think and what will it be in the best of 5? Will it be 5-0 Denis? Will it be 5-0 Devon? Will it come down to the last match to go 3-2 to either one of the men? Folks, we want to know. Give us a comment in the comment section below. Let us know what you're thinking. Our next story, folks, is the world of YouTube. YouTube has become a source of revenue for content creators, influencers, actually for anyone who wants to be out there, be consistent and post. YouTube has become a platform. Independent filmmakers, TV shows, commercial makers, musicians. YouTube is the place. It's a universally accepted landing for people of videography talent to place their own content. And one of the phenoms, folks, that we want to talk to you about today, what do you think about these bait and switch type videos where professional arm wrestlers dress up as old people, go out to the beach, go to the malls, and look to create content by duping the general public with makeup and costume and wardrobe, or just kind of sandbagging talent in order to draw in the attentions to get more attention to them, likes, clicks, subscribes on the website. What do you think of that? Most recently, Brandon William, a very accomplished YouTuber, someone with over 1 million hits or 1 million subscriptions on his YouTube channel, millions of views, millions of hits on his channel. He has published Beat My Grandpa, Beat My Grandma, where you've had Alan Fisher, who, ironically enough, is as old as a grandpa would be, but brought in Gabriela Vascalones for the last one in Beat My Grandma. Takes them out to the beach, offers the $10 gratuity prize to beat Brandon William. Not what I would call an aggressive or accomplished arm wrestler on any level, but certainly someone who has practiced, that has some basic technique. Then gets to face off against who has been his nerd, quote unquote, in his videos, his young pro in Gabriel Young. Gabriel, who has got some charisma on the YouTube screen, likes to talk multiple language to people coming through, certainly tries to flash pin everyone, which, folks, as we know in arm wrestling, that's more of a taking advantage type position against unknowing, unsuspecting arm wrestlers, or shouldn't say arm wrestlers, non-arm wrestlers, coming into that setting. Certainly can be a very dangerous thing when you're jerking someone's arm that fast and moving him out of a very, very comfortable into an uncomfortable position, but certainly has shown that he has some arm wrestling talent. And bringing in the likes of an Alan Fisher, 27-time world champion, or a Gabriela Vascalones, a 17-time world champion, and those two basically setting up that unsuspected with the fact that they might win $500 or more, and unfortunately finding themselves on the losing hand and the money being protected. Do you like videos like that? Do you feel that they have a value to arm wrestling? We want to know what you think in the comments below. Would you like to see more of those type videos? Do you think that those videos can bring a level of attention to the sport with atypical viewers that the sport may not have otherwise? We definitely want to know what your comments and thoughts are on that subject, and definitely let us know, would you like to see more values of Beat My Grandpa, Beat My Grandma on arm wrestling sports and other strength sports? And our last story of the day, folks, brings back Devon Lorett, but brings back Devon Lorett in Eddie Hall's feed on Facebook. Now, we had our first segment on Wednesday, the What If, and we had Travis Kelce as the What If Travis Kelce was an arm wrestler segment. Let's try to play that in with Eddie Hall. Eddie Hall posted recently a video that was taken back probably several years ago. It looks like a younger Eddie Hall. It looks like a much younger Devon Lorett. And they see both of these men in a gym, and Devon is showing him some real basic cupping type exercises, squeezing to the center of the body mass, range of motion, practicing the motion, teaching your arms how to move and teaching your body how to react to a good, strong, solid arm wrestling position. Eddie Hall working in this video. You can see Eddie is a bit awkward in his pulling movements. He just doesn't have the overall flexibility to pull to the center core of his mass. But he also shows in that video Devon Lorett bringing his elbows and his wrists together in front of his body. Folks, that's not very easy to do. That's a high level of flexibility as well as control of muscles that Devon has developed. That is not an easy task for whether you have Eddie Hall or any athlete in professional sports. It's certainly something you have to work on. And when you watch the video, Eddie basically says, this is as far as I can go. The big width and the big girth of that body just can't bring those elbows together. And that flexibility is extremely important, folks, when it comes to arm wrestling. So let's take a look at his statistics. Eddie Hall stands 6'2", somewhere between listed 313 and 434 pounds. Now, we do know that Eddie Hall lost quite a bit of weight when he went after Hawthorne Bjornsson in a boxing match. Came down and met him probably in the mid to low 300-pound range, I believe was his final weight. And Eddie is competing in an MMA, a big MMA round-robin tournament in Saudi Arabia. So I'm imagining Eddie Hall probably is on the lower half of the 300 pounds now. I don't know Eddie at all. I've never met the man. I can't really give you a dimensional analysis other than what I see of him on video. But certainly the man is extremely thick from back to chest and very thick through the hips and the thighs, which you would assume a strong man, a man who lifts weight as a feat of strength would be. A strong man would not want to be top heavy. He certainly wants to be bottom heavy, driving mass, being able to lift the weight, the legs, the hips, the calves. Those are your main stability in big power lifts. Without a very strong core to ankle body mass and structure, you're definitely in a disadvantage in strongman competitions. And Eddie Hall, being a world champion multiple times, a strongman, certainly fits that mold of a physique. But do you think that a man like Eddie Hall, with limited flexibility but a lot of power, could do well in the world of arm wrestling? And if so, what would he have to do in order to be a successful arm wrestler? Would he have to be a press from the start? Would he have to go into a deep hook? Would he be a top roller? Or does his height maybe take him out of the ability to be a great, effective top roller? Not a very tall heavyweight, super heavyweight at 6'2". Today's big men on the stage are tipping the scale in the 250 to 350 range, but certainly 6'3", 6'4", and above. Some of them as big as 400 pounds in the big Corey West and certainly Cody Merritt. Do you think that an Eddie Hall could turn his body presence into something that is more suitable to arm wrestling? And if so, do you think Eddie Hall could be a successful arm wrestler? We'd really like to know your thoughts, folks. Give us some of your thoughts in the comments below. It certainly lets us know and keeps us going on this to give us an ability to figure out if this is a segment that we want to continue promoting. We think it's a fun segment. Certainly the curiosity to find out if someone might make a good arm wrestler and to really discuss it, to me, has endless possibilities. not only in fact, but in debate. And we'd love to hear what you think. So this does it again, guys, for another episode of Inside Arm Wrestling. This has been Greg Sharp reminding you to train hard, pull smart, lift safe, and certainly hit that like, subscribe, and notify button. And keep giving us your comments and likes, folks. We really appreciate it. We want to make more content, and we want to know what you want to hear. This is Greg Sharp signing off. Folks, if you like these stories and you want to see more, please hit the like button and subscribe to our page. Also hit the notification bell underneath the video so that way you're notified every time a new video comes out. And if you're on social media, specifically Instagram, go to the World Series of Arm Wrestling Instagram page. Please follow it. We'll try to follow you back, but it'll keep you up to date with all of the news and events in the world of arm wrestling.